everybody, welcome to the Tellor Dev Call. Today is April 7th, 2025. So last week we actually launched and opened, we had launched our testnet a few weeks back. Last year we actually opened it to the public, and a lot of people already jumped in. Everything's going as planned. We're still going to be testing a few things and doing some upgrades, testing the upgrades with the community as well. So as we start this, let's go ahead and Spuddy, how is our community growing, and how's that going?
Yeah, it's been great. About 37 people have successfully bridged to layer. We didn't lose any deposits, which is great. The bridge reports, the way the bridge works, for those who don't know, is you create your bridge request on Sepolia, and then reporters on layer use the RPC to the EVM to they pick up your bridge request and they report it on layer. So 12 hours after that report, anybody can claim the deposit and get a tip. So if there is anybody watching who was wondering how the bridge works, anybody can claim the tip. It doesn't have to be us. There's a little bit of confusion with the docs, but I think I got it all straightened out and everybody got bridged and it's going great.
Caleb,
Yeah,
yeah?
go ahead.
No, Caleb, how's the state of our chain?
Oh, it looks good. It looks good. And now that we have a lot of the people moving over to our new testnet, I'm excited this week to test out some stuff on the older testnet for some social forking and some other just emergency preparation stuff for us to be prepared for absolutely anything that gets thrown our way.
Thank you, Caleb. Akram, welcome back, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, I was I guess, trying to go through the issues of layer. But I guess we're gonna switch gears to see, prepare for the 1 o'clock, I guess.
Perfect. All right, Tim.
Yeah, so I have a PR in to make sure we can recover any bridge deposits where the inputted recipient address is bad. So we want to make this thing as low risk and as foolproof as possible. So yeah, we just have a PR in so we can recover some tokens that were bridged but can't be recovered. And then, yeah, I'm continuing to work on beefing up the monitoring for relaying and just making sure our data has sufficient power. But the existing relayer has been up and running. It was running all weekend and still pushing data over, and that's looking good. We have, good amount of participation from the reporters. And yeah, I saw that the bridge validator set updated a couple hours ago, which is kind of in the weeds of how the bridge works, but that means that we got a 5% change of our validator set since the last update. But yeah.
Dan.
I am testing out forking in an interchain test.
Thanks, Dan. That's part of us being ready for anything that could happen for everybody out there, to give them a little bit of background. Brian?
Yeah, I need to do some cleanup on some the front ends, namely the relayer and the bridge front end. So I'll be spending a lot of time just sprucing those up for the UX.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Nick?
Not much. Working on a good article, some price stuff. Going to be trying out the bridge and running some stuff today. Going over the docs, fine tooth comb, so should be fun.
Awesome. Then Tim, I know I owe you further revisions on what you're writing. I will get to that today. And then Brian and everybody, we're actually this year again, we're having ETC this year is called Crypto Capital ETC, and it's a conference, a dev focused conference in DC on April 24th. And so, Ryan, I know you already have some designs ready for hats, so we'll go ahead and pull the plug on those, or not the plug, like actually order them in,
Yeah,
so that I can get them in time by the 24th, hopefully. And yeah, so I hope if you are in DC, hope that people make it to the conference, and then you guys let me know who's coming. All right. Well, then we'll see you guys next week, unless we have questions, Ryan. I always forget about questions.
Let's see here.
I think just the one from Sync is the question.
Okay.
Question.
Since Tellor layer will be an L1, at some point doesn't TRB's price action become a real concern from a chain security viability perspective? In other words, is there any consideration of how TRB's tokenomics should potentially be improved to account for this? The coin is demonstrably unable to retain value over the years, so I'm not even speaking to short-term price action, though global market turbulence reinforces this topic. I've reflected on this since Tellor layer was first announced. My posts from early last year attest to this, so this isn't FUD, to be clear.
Yeah, no, I mean, the price of Tellor is definitely associated with its security. There's no way around that, just like its price is associated with its security. There are still several things that our users in their integration can do to protect themselves against any type of this manipulation. But yeah, I don't think that at this point we were ready to change the design, unless you can think of anything, Nick.
Well, I mean, I would actually argue that being an L1 helps in some ways. Like whenever even on the way that the previous Teller was as a smart contract system, you're actually more tied into your token's price in the fact that there's like if somebody buys up all of the tokens, there's actually nothing you can do, because the fear is if you have a low token price, somebody can buy up all of your tokens and then trash your entire system. The way that the old Teller worked is that would wreck all of the users. Whereas if you're an L1, you actually have the ability to fork them away. So like you can, as soon as they get control or try anything, you can basically cancel all of their tokens and move away. How users handle that on other bridges, still yet to be seen, but like that's something that we sort of talk about in our docs, same with and this is a risk with like any L1 chain, but your ultimate security doesn't necessarily come from the price. It comes from kind of the ability to just detect that something's wrong and move away from it. I wrote an article on this one on it was like on oracles or something. I can link to it in the once I go find it. But yeah, the token price does matter, but more so just from like whether it's ETH or Bitcoin or anything, the token price matters not for like the ultimate security, which comes from the social layer. It matters just in like, it would be a pain in the ass to have to fork all the time. So we it would make it unusable for a lot of exchanges. So that's more of the bigger concern. But yeah, no, I think we obviously, once we shift, we're actually curious to see where Teller's price lands, because of global macro, which is driving everything right now, and then also just we're going to be an L1 with validators. We're going to see how
it's going to be a big shakeup.
Yeah, there's a good chance that a lot of the current reporters, will become validators, but a lot of other validators might hop in, and some Cosmos chains have 80% of the token staked. Will that happen with us? Maybe not. We have no idea. So curious to see where it goes.
Well, I hope that answered his question. Yeah, I think as we've seen in many hacks, if you don't own your chain, you don't have the ability, or the chain will not always fork just because one specific project gets hacked. the fact that we have a little bit more control can help. And yeah, we'll take advantage of all the tools that we have available to make sure that our users and everybody in the network stays safe. But we are decentralized, so it'll be a challenge no matter what. But now you have an answer. It's not clear cut, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and I mean the next posts people were talking about were obviously it was like longer winded versions of when marketing, which we expect in a bear market. So this is it's very welcome. Nothing new to us. So we hear you guys, and it's a tough time, but hang in there, and we're building.
Yeah, we continue to ship. Check out our GitHub. We're working really hard. So okay, anything else? Or anything else anybody else wants to add? Cool. All right, well then we'll see you guys next week.